Let me be honest with you. I love a classic wardrobe as much as you do, but it can start looking frumpy. That's just the truth. And if not frumpy, then definitely boring. So we want to cut that out, ladies. Today, let's talk about how to build and wear a classic wardrobe and not look frumpy or boring. Hello and welcome to Dress for My Day. My name is Kay and I'm so glad that you are here. You know, I really try to encourage and help and inspire women over 50, like me, I'm 62 years old, to get dressed for our day in a way that really feels authentic to our personal personality, our style, our real lifestyle, but also in a way that is stylish and that will help us to put our best foot forward so that we can engage with those around us with grace and with confidence and like we have something to say, because we absolutely do. No invisible women around here, okay? There is no reason to feel invisible. But you know what? The truth is, with a classic wardrobe, sometimes you can start looking a little invisible. That's just the fact. Let's talk about three things today. We're going to discuss really quickly what indeed is a classic wardrobe and a classic outfit. Let's get that definition down good. Secondly, we are going to real quick, rapid fire, go through just how to build a classic wardrobe. And then I do have some sticking points that are going to help us look current and fashionable and stylish in our classic outfits and our wardrobe, not frumpy and not boring. Stay tuned for those sticking points there at the end. They are really important. You do not want to go anywhere. This is going to be a quick one. I want to get you in and out of here, but I want to give you some real take-home value today. If there is any shopping, not a whole lot, but I do have a few things. Those links will be down in the description box below or right over here with YouTube links. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, let's take care of that today and get that done. Classic, what does that mean to you? In fact, go ahead in the comments and tell me, what do you think a classic wardrobe is? What does classic style mean to you? I have a feeling we'll get some varied answers down there. Classic is two different things, actually. There is kind of that classic style. I kind of think of Ralph Lauren as being a really good example of that. Maybe also something like Coco Chanel. You know, just very classic. We kind of think streamlined, honestly. I think we're thinking pared back. We're thinking leaning into those staples like button-up shirts and trouser pants and straight leg jeans and, you know, just those basics. We're thinking of no fuss, no muss, and you're definitely not going boho, not going ultra feminine, just really, you know, pared back, a little elegant. And what we're thinking there too, I think, is just that timeless aesthetic. Now, we sometimes confuse that aesthetic of classic though with having a classic wardrobe, and we start thinking classic wardrobe is honestly anything that we could just keep forever. Like, that's what a classic is. It's something I can keep forever. But the truth is that even classic pieces eventually run their time span. Things have to be replaced or they do start looking not classic, but retro. If you've been there, you've seen that. Maybe you have something in your closet from way back and you think, oh my, this is in style again. I'll pull this back out from 20 years ago. And somehow it just doesn't quite look current, even though it's the current on-trend thing. And that's because everything truly has a lifespan. There is no such thing really as a piece that you can just wear for 50 years and it not look a little dated. Sometimes you might want that retro look, but let's understand there definitely is a difference between a classic piece, like a button-up shirt, a pair of jeans, a denim jacket, and that classic aesthetic, which tends to be more streamlined, pared back, a little effortless looking, very understated. You know, when we think of classic women who maybe are inspirations to us, like Audrey Hepburn or even Jackie Kennedy, that really had that classic aesthetic. So very pared back, very minimalist, very streamlined, a little effortless and also elegant, though. That's what we think about. So the first thing you have to do is decide, do you really want that aesthetic, or do you just want to build a wardrobe that hopefully will not go out of style too soon? I think many of us women over 50, we want a little of both, right? We love that pared back look, that very elegant look that also, though, kind of goes with rough and tumble. I mean, Ralph Lauren is outdoorsy and all that, but you also still have just that very an understated, elegance about those pieces. So we like that, but we also definitely love the idea of a closet that has some sticking power, that does not lean into the trends, that is not very faddish, that does not come and go. It's a closet that we do not have to replace everything in it next year in order to look on trend and on style. So how do you build that kind of wardrobe? First of all, we're going to run through this rapid fire, like I said, but we do want to understand how to build a wardrobe. Perhaps you are one of my viewers who is just getting started on this. You've come out of a career, you've finished raising your kids, and you realize that your style has evolved. You want to build a closet with some sticking power, but you also want one that looks a little fashionable, that works for your real lifestyle, that is different than it was just 5 years ago. And so what do you do? So I have just a few steps for building a classic wardrobe. Number one, you have got to know your personal style. And guess what? You don't have to find it. You get to define it. I'm going to refer you quickly to a video that I did not so long ago about how to define your personal style. And there I talk about using 3 style angles that you get to choose to help you stay in your chosen parameters of your personal style. I give you some really great steps for getting some inspiration for your personal style angles and defining those words so that they create a style that other people recognize in you and that works for you authentically. So check that video out. But the first step is to define your personal style before you start building that wardrobe. The second thing you have to nail down and really lean into is your real lifestyle. We want to build a wardrobe that works for our everyday, not just our special days. So it's important to be real and honest about what your everydays look like. You want to make sure that your wardrobe reflects and gives you the equipment, so to speak, that you need to get dressed every day, looking a little stylish, looking like your personal style that you've chosen, and stepping out looking your best. So lean into that real lifestyle. Third, you wanted to settle on a color palette, and I'm not just talking about the color palette that your color analysis person gave you. That's a big old palette full of lots of colors and shades. What I encourage you to do is to really narrow it down to 3 or 4 neutrals. Neutrals are important in a classic wardrobe, but they are not the end all to everything. But you do want a few, 3 or 4, I would say at the most, neutrals that you love wearing, that do look good on you, that help you feel your very best when you step out. But then I suggest you choose 3 to 5 signature colors. Once again, they don't have to be everything that the color analysis said that you could wear. Instead, choose 3 or 4 colors that you want to wear for this season that you're going into, that you love, that you feel authentic in, and that do look good on you. When you build your wardrobe with a limited color palette that you yourself have chosen to limit, nobody else limited it on you, but you've chosen to limit it, then you're going to have a wardrobe that is cohesive, that works together, and it makes it a lot easier to get dressed. What I suggest you do too is that as you add classic pieces, and we'll talk about those in just a minute, to your wardrobe, you do add them largely in your neutrals, because that just makes getting dressed so much easier when you have the neutrals that you need, but also some colors. You definitely want some colors in those classic pieces, like that classic turtleneck or that button-up linen shirt or those trousers that you love to wear. They don't all have to be neutrals. So definitely lean into your chosen color palette. Just 2 more steps to building your classic wardrobe. Number 4 is that fit is key. Classics are going to look frumpy and dated if they don't fit you well. Today I pulled a classic from my closet. I bought this dress several years ago from Veronica Beard when it was on big sale. And I snapped it up because I knew it is a classic shirt dress in black with gold buttons. Now this dress, however, fits me like a glove, and fit is so important. If my shirt dress were hanging on me and it wasn't fitting right, or if it were too tight, then it just wouldn't work. So fit is so important in a classic shirt dress or any other classic that you have in your closet. Is going to make that classic look like you are the classic rather than the piece is the classic. You are going to look like such a classy, timeless woman in a piece that truly fits you. And the fifth tip is, you know what, your classic wardrobe is worth having tailored. So if you have a piece that needs to be hemmed up a little bit, it needs to be taken in at the waist a little bit, maybe the sleeves need to be shortened. If you are buying something that you're planning on keeping in your closet for the long haul or getting a lot of wear out of, then I encourage you to get to be friends with a tailor nearby and have those little details taken care of. That is going to make your classic wardrobe not frumpy, not boring, but absolutely stylish on you. I want us to talk quickly about what things to purchase as classics. What are classic pieces to purchase and which ones should you not purchase? Sometimes you'll see a classic wardrobe staple list, or those basics that you have to have. Beware of those. I've had them myself. I've published them myself in the past. In fact, I have one on my printable library at my blog at dressformyday.com, and it's a good one. It's a good list, but you need to be careful to make that list personalized. If you don't like to wear button-up shirts, then you don't need a classic white button-up shirt. If a shirt dress is not your thing, you don't have to have one. If straight leg jeans are just not your vibe, you don't have to have one. Remember, we're going back to your personal style. You want to choose the classic pieces that fit your personal style. So those things could be pieces that do stand the test of time, like button-up shirts, a classic white t-shirt, straight leg jeans or trouser jeans, that pair of classic trousers in black or camel or navy, whichever neutrals you happen to love. Maybe a white linen blazer is a staple classic for you. Choose the ones that really fit your personal style, and those are the ones you want to invest in. All right, here's where the rubber meets the road. Let's talk about those sticking points, is what I'm calling them, that are going to help us to wear and enjoy and build that classic wardrobe, but not look frumpy and not look boring. Number one, please keep in mind that even classics have their lifespan. Even a classic wardrobe has to be freshened up occasionally, and sometimes we have to say goodbye to that button-up shirt that's fitted, it comes in, it's tapered, it's tailored, and maybe it's time instead to have a button-up shirt that's a little blousier and fuller and more relaxed. Maybe the jeans that you thought were classic because they were just full length and straight, they no longer look quite as modern, and you realize you need some that are a little bit more relaxed and fit. So yes, even classics have a lifespan. Pay attention to that and realize that sometimes we do have to update even the classics. Number two, when you're buying those classic pieces, they don't all need to be basic. If you build a closet full of basics, guess what? You're going to look basic. And who wants to look basic? We're not talking pared back and elegant and effortless. We're talking basic. Nobody wants to just look basic. So be really careful when you're buying your basic pieces, your classic pieces, that at least half of them, I'd say, have some personality. So maybe you don't need all just white button-up shirts. Maybe you need one that has scrunched up sleeves, or you have one that has a ruffled collar. Maybe you have one that has the raw edges on the ends. If you like that vibe, it works for your personal style. Make sure that you bring some pieces into your closet that have some personality, that have something about them that looks a little unusual, a little different. You're going to need some statement pieces in your closet, not just classic basics. Number three, I suggest that you invest in quality accessories. Accessories can be classics too, can't they? A beautiful clutch is certainly a classic. You could carry it for years after year. You know, a pointy toe flat or a beautiful pump, a nice leather belt. Those are all accessories that you can feel confident investing a little bit more in because you truly can wear them for years. But you do want them to be of good quality again. Quality accessories are going to help your classic outfits look a little bit more polished, more stylish, like you have something going on. You're not just putting together basic pieces. That classic, really high-end belt, which I don't happen to own, by the way, but a high-end belt can take a pair of just classic straight leg jeans and a button-up shirt and turn it into something really special. So just remember, if you want to invest a little extra somewhere in your wardrobe, your accessories is a really smart option. Fourth, I suggest that even those of us with a classic wardrobe, we need to update and freshen our wardrobes annually and strategically. And when I say annually, I really mean seasonally, because every season comes around once a year. So with each season, it's smart to update your wardrobe strategically. That doesn't mean that you have to add all the trends, but it does mean that you want to be aware of the trends and choose at least a few that will help your wardrobe to look a little current, a little cutting edge, stylish, and modern. And then finally, I've saved the biggest tip of all. If you have a classic wardrobe, when you step out, and let's say you still want to look classic, the way to not look frumpy and to not look boring is to blend your outfit with classic and modern pieces. Now, once again, those modern pieces can actually be classics, but they have the modern hemline, they have the modern neckline, they are maybe in current colors. A few of the best places to update your wardrobe and to instill in your outfits are your denim. Modern jeans are always going to help you create a very modern outfit, and footwear. If you are wearing the current shoe trends, and they don't have to be like crazy little trends, I'm not talking fads, but for instance, right now, the trend to wear with your full-length wide leg jeans or even your ankle-length wide leg jeans or straight leg jeans is that little kitten heel thong sandal. I mean, who knew? But you can find some that are not expensive, they're really cute, they're comfortable to walk in if you like a little bit of a heel, and they will make your jeans and your button-up shirt look so modern. So updating your footwear and your denim each season, and that doesn't mean you have to buy all new things 4 times a year, but if you just make sure as you go into each season that your jeans and your footwear, you have some modern options in your closet, that's really going to help you create outfits that look current and stylish and not frumpy and not boring. As an example of that point, today I'm wearing a pearl necklace, which of course we would think of as being a classic necklace. Now this particular pearl necklace also has gold beads in it, so it's more like a pearl station necklace, but it's a pearl necklace, and you could do the same thing with other pearl necklaces. Recently in The Devil Wears Prada 2, I saw Anne Hathaway wearing a little pearl necklace throughout the movie, but I also noticed that with it she was wearing a little T-bar necklace. So to me, this little combination is a great example, but also to me just a perfect blend of classic and modern. These little T-bars, you're seeing them everywhere. This one's by Tilly Saveas, but I'm seeing a lot of these. I don't know if they invented them or somebody else did, but it is such a modern silhouette of a necklace or a shape of a necklace. And we're seeing it a lot right now, so it's just very current, but you combine it with a pearl necklace and you have that beautiful combination of classic and modern. Of course, there's so many other ways you can do that with your outfits. Let me know in the comments of other ways that you think of blending classic pieces with modern pieces to create a truly stylish and current outfit. So those are my tips for building the classic wardrobe. Hopefully we have an understanding of what classic means. Let me know in the comments if you still have some confusion or if you have some different ideas. And then I've given you some sticking points to help you create modern classic outfits that are not boring and not frumpy, but truly look stylish. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. today. Be sure to check the description box below for some additional links to blog posts and videos that I think you might enjoy watching. Specifically, someone last week asked for a video about looking chic in the heat, and oh, I have a good one from a couple of years ago that definitely has stood the test of time. So be sure to check that video out below. Thanks for joining me, ladies, and I'll see you again next Wednesday. Bye now.